a bell. No sweat, now I'm feeling swell. Gee golly, it's a beautiful day. Gonna burn my troubles away. I'm going nuclear, light up the town. The walls that hold, I'm melting down. I'm rising up light.
It's 1969, the year of Woodstock, man landing on the moon, and it's the height of the Cold War.
And while in the real world, nuclear war between America and the Eastern Bloc was averted, in Fallout, those tensions merely continued. America essentially reinvented itself, reshaping its 50 states into 13 commonwealths. The theory was that in a bid not to let communism seep into the country, 13 united commonwealths would help the nation better meet the challenges posed by the communist threat to American democracy. But in reality, it just created even more political strife in the American government, increasing the paranoia and state of unrest in an already fragile country.
And the plan appeared to have worked. Well, at least in the sense that none of the 13 Commonwealths turned communist. And in the 80 years that followed, Fallout America had made some progress too. The mounting tensions and potential for nuclear war had spurred the country to escalate the space race, as well as make incredible strides in the fields of AI and robotics. One of the great minds behind these advancements was Robert House. Born in 2020, House would go on to found Robco, which was responsible for much of the technology you see in the wastelands of Fallout. Robco invented the Protectrons, the Sentry Bots, the giant Liberty Prime, and even a little wearable computer known as the Pip-Boy. So yeah, House is one of the major players in the Fallout universe. We'll talk about him more in a future episode.
So while America managed to safeguard itself from the threat of communism, make significant technological strides, create a new best-selling cola drink, it wasn't so hot on, sorting out the whole nuclear war thing. In April 2052, we enter a period in history known as the Resource Wars. Dependent on the ever-depleting reserves of crude oil and fossil fuels, Europe wages war with the Middle East over the remaining fuel reserves. A great panic and paranoia spread across the world. America invades Mexico, it annexes Canada, and sets up front lines to defend oil in Anchorage, while China marches into Alaska. This resource war ultimately was the spark that would go on to set off the nukes.
But before that, let's talk about the vaults. In 2054, with international tensions at an all-time high, the United States government, backed by the secretive Enclave organization, commissioned Vault-Tec and Robco Industries to begin Project Safe House. This involved building 122 public vaults dotted across America, each designed to shelter 1,000 individuals from a nuclear cataclysm. That's what the official story was anyway. In reality, the vaults were part of a series of secret experiments orchestrated by the United States government. Each vault was the basis of a completely different social experiment. Vault 68, for example, was populated with 999 men and a single woman. In Vault 34, there was an overstocked armory which happened to have no lock on the door. And in terms of providing safety and security for their inhabitants, most of the vaults would prove to be complete failures. With Vault-Tec's experiments being their true motives, meant that the vaults were never really designed solely for the protection of their dwellers.
That brings us to the fateful date of October 23rd, 2077. The day the bombs fell. Bitter and protracted wars over resources ended with countries launching nukes at each other. The exchange lasted just 2 hours. The vast majority of the world's population perished. Entire species were wiped out, and contaminated black rains followed for months after the nukes fell. In the scattered remains of the people and forces of the world, tribes and settlements are formed, one of those being the Brotherhood of Steel. Those tech-loving guys in hulking power armor.
Fallout 4, the latest entry in the saga, starts with the announcement of the attack and a sudden rush to the vault with your family while warheads fly across the sky. This is the first time that Fallout has allowed you to play through a sample of pre-war life. The original Fallout game is set sometime later in the year 2161. Your character is known as the Vault Dweller. Sent from Vault 13 into the South California wasteland, you begin a quest to recover a new computer chip for the Vault's water system, before its drinkable resources deplete entirely. After spending a year in the wasteland securing clean water for your vault and being labeled a hero in the process, your reward for all your hard work is banishment. That's right, the overseer in charge of Vault 13 feared that you wielded too much influence, so they cast you out into the wastelands.
But in crisis lies opportunity, and the Vault Dweller then founds a new village, Arroyo. In 2197, the events surrounding Fallout Tactics begin. The game, set in Chicago, tasks a Brotherhood of Steel squad to free a village from a tribe of troublemakers, from cannibals to super mutants, to an entire robot army led by an AI called the Calculator, which is based in the mysterious Vault Zero. After a year of combat, a leader of the Brotherhood merges brains with the Calculator to bring a new age of peace for the surrounding survivors.
Then, in 2241, some 80 years after the setting of the original game, the story of Fallout 2 begins. We're back in Arroyo, which is suffering the worst drought in its history. The village elder asks the descendant of the Vault Dweller, known as the Chosen One, to find and return a Garden of Eden creation kit, or GECK. This is a device that can create living, thriving life from the soil of the wasteland. The Chosen One, armed with a Pip-Boy 2000, searches Vault 13 first, the closest location for a GECK, but finds it devoid of life. It's not the best news for the Chosen One, as they discover upon returning to their village that it has been captured by the Enclave, who are basically the decaying remnants of the pre-war US government, who gather unwilling test subjects to experiment on, but we'll talk more on those guys another day. In a bitter battle that lasts a whole year, the Chosen One uses an oil tanker to destroy the Enclave's offshore base, and thus freeing the village of Arroyo.
Fallout 3 is set 17 years later in 2258. It's been nearly 2 centuries since the bombs fell, and it's time for a new hero with a new story. That hero is the Lone Wanderer, raised in Vault 101 by their father James. But by the time the Lone Wanderer turns 19, James unexpectedly ventures into the wasteland, sending Vault 101 and its paranoid overseer into disarray. The Lone Wanderer spends a year venturing out of the vault in search of their father, along the way discovering the town of Megaton, the charismatic Three Dog, and the wastes of Washington, D.C. Partway through the journey, James is found suspended in stasis. Upon freeing him, it's discovered that he left the vault to activate Project Purity, a water purifying system that could bring fresh, clean H2O to the entire wasteland. After activating the system, the Lone Wanderer joins the Brotherhood of Steel, continuing to provide pure water to the wasteland and hunt the Enclave remnants before fading into legend.
But in the world of Fallout, peace never lasts. The year is 2281, and in the cold Night Nevada air, a courier that is tasked to deliver a package to New Vegas is shot in the head. The details of that package and how it affects the entire city of New Vegas is something we are going to explore in depth at a later time, because this story can end in one of 4 ways, each with its own sacrifices and alternate implications for the city of New Vegas.
So hopefully that's you all caught up and ready for Fallout 4.
We're going to be playing through every game in the Fallout franchise and the build up to Fallout 4 itself.
And starting next week, Dave's going to go right back to the very beginning with Fallout 1. But we want you to get involved, so give us your best ideas for character names, gender, builds, stats, perks, the whole deal in the box below, and the ones we use in the show will get some lovely prizes.
We're going to be playing through the intro to Fallout 1 and searching for a very specific canine companion. But until next week, you can find me on Twitter at IrregularDave.
And I'm at Lucy James Games.
And I'll see you next time, Wastelander.
Wake up to the job at the bell. No sweat, now I'm feeling swell. Gee golly, it's a beautiful day. Gonna burn my troubles away. I'm going